Your life as every rank in Special Forces. Part 1, From Civilian to Candidate. You wake up before the alarm. The room is silent except for the steady ticking of the clock on your wall. Today's date has been circled for months. The day you've been preparing for. The day that will decide whether you're ordinary. Or whether you'll earn the chance to join one of the world's most elite military units. Outside, the air is cold. Your backpack is already waiting by the door. It feels heavier than you remember. Not because of the equipment inside, but because of everything it represents. You take one last look around your room. By tomorrow, your life may never be the same again. Welcome to your life in Special Forces. Chapter 1, The Decision. For years, you've admired stories of elite soldiers. The missions no one hears about. The rescues that happen in silence. The people who train harder than anyone else, yet receive almost none of the recognition. You don't join for fame. There won't be cameras. There won't be cheering crowds. Only impossible challenges. Most people think strength is enough. They're wrong. Special Forces aren't looking for the strongest person in the room. They're searching for someone who refuses to quit. Someone who keeps thinking when exhausted. Someone who keeps moving after everyone else has stopped. That's the person you hope to become. Chapter 2, Selection Day. The bus arrives before sunrise. No one talks. Dozens of candidates climb aboard carrying backpacks nearly as large as themselves. Some look nervous. Others try to hide it. You recognize the confidence. You've seen it before. Usually, it's the first thing to disappear. Hours later, the bus stops. An instructor steps aboard. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't smile. He simply says, "Everything starts now." The doors open. No speeches. No welcome. No second chances. Chapter 3, The First Test. Your first challenge seems simple. Run. 5 kilometers. Then 10. Then 15. The pace never slows. The instructors never encourage anyone. They simply watch. One candidate twists an ankle. He's gone. Another can't keep up. Gone. Someone forgets a piece of equipment. Gone. Nobody argues. Nobody complains. Every mistake has consequences. You realize something important. This isn't training. They're not trying to make you stronger. They're trying to discover who already possesses the determination required. Chapter 4, Sleep is a Luxury. By the second night, you've slept less than 3 hours. The cold feels sharper. Your thoughts become slower. Simple decisions suddenly feel difficult. The instructors know exactly what they're doing. Anyone can stay calm after a full night's sleep. Can you stay calm after 2 days without one? That's the real test. You begin carrying heavy logs with your team. At first, everyone works together. Then exhaustion appears. Arguments begin. People blame each other. The instructors say nothing. Because this isn't about carrying wood. It's about leadership. About teamwork. About character. Even under pressure. Chapter 5, The Mountain. Before dawn, you're handed a map. No GPS. No vehicles. Just a destination hidden somewhere beyond the mountains. You have 6 hours. The pack on your back feels twice as heavy now. Every step sinks into wet ground. Rain begins falling. The wind grows stronger. Soon your boots are soaked. Every hill feels steeper than the last. One candidate drops his pack. He stares at it, for nearly a minute. Then he quietly turns around and walks back. Nobody stops him. His decision was made long before today. Today simply revealed it. You tighten the straps on your own backpack. One more step. Then another. Sometimes success isn't about speed. Sometimes it's simply refusing to stop. Chapter 6, Becoming a Candidate. A week passes. Then another. The group that arrived on the bus has become much smaller. Nearly half are gone. The instructors finally gather everyone together. For the first time, one of them smiles, just a little. "Congratulations," he says. "You've survived selection." The word "survived" stands out. Not completed. Not passed. Survived. Because that's exactly how it feels. You haven't become special forces. Not even close. You've simply earned permission to begin training. Today, your title changes. You're officially a candidate. It's the lowest position in special forces. You carry no authority, no prestige, no impressive badge. Only potential. And potential means nothing unless you're willing to keep proving yourself. As the sun sets over the training camp, you clean your equipment for tomorrow. Your muscles ache. Your hands are blistered. Every part of your body begs for rest. But something inside you has changed. The person who stepped off that bus weeks ago is already gone. Tomorrow, the real training begins. Chapter 7, starting from zero. The next morning begins before the sun rises. An instructor walks into the barracks carrying a whistle. One blast. Everyone is awake. You have exactly 5 minutes. 5 minutes to dress. 5 minutes to pack. 5 minutes to stand outside in formation. Anyone who arrives late starts the day with punishment. No excuses. No second chances. You quickly learn that special forces isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Doing the small things right. Every single day. Chapter 8, The Weapon. Today, you're handed a rifle. For the first time, it feels real. The instructor places it in your hands and says, "Treat this as if your life depends on it. Because one day, it will." You spend hours learning every part. How to load it. How to unload it. How to clear a malfunction. How to clean every spring, every pin, every moving piece. Then the instructors do something unexpected. They take it apart and scatter the pieces across the floor. You have 60 seconds. At first, your hands shake. The pieces all look identical. You fumble with the bolt. The spring slips from your fingers. Time runs out. By the end of the week, your hands move without thinking. In Special Forces, muscle memory saves lives. Chapter 9, Surviving Alone. One afternoon, you're dropped deep inside a forest. No roads, no buildings, no phone, only a knife, a compass, and enough food for one day. Your mission is simple. Survive. The first night is quiet. Almost too quiet. Every sound feels closer in the darkness. Branches snap somewhere beyond the trees. You don't know whether it's an animal or simply the wind. Either way, you don't sleep much. The next morning, hunger begins to replace fear. You learn to find clean water. Build a shelter. Start a fire with damp wood. Read tracks left in the mud. Navigate by the stars. These aren't just survival skills. They're confidence. Because if everything else disappears, your knowledge stays with you. Chapter 10, Learning to Lead. Until now, your only responsibility has been yourself. That changes today. Your squad is divided into small teams. Each day, a different person becomes team leader. Today, it's you. The instructor hands you a map. Get everyone to the checkpoint. Simple. At least, it sounds simple. Halfway through the route, one teammate twists his knee. Another begins falling behind. The fastest path suddenly becomes impossible. You stop. Think. Adjust. Leadership isn't about shouting louder than everyone else. It's about making good decisions. While everyone around you is under pressure. By sunset, your team reaches the checkpoint. Not first. Not last. Together. The instructor nods. Sometimes. That's enough. Chapter 11, The Sky. Your next challenge begins thousands of feet above the ground. You stand inside a military aircraft. The engines roar so loudly. You can barely hear your own thoughts. The jumpmaster checks your equipment one last time. He taps your shoulder. You move toward the open door. The wind rushes into the cabin. The ground looks impossibly far away. Every instinct tells you to step back. But fear is normal. Being controlled by it isn't. The light changes. Green. You jump. For one endless second. There's only silence. Then, your parachute opens. The world slows down. Mountains stretch across the horizon. Forests look like tiny patches of green. The landing isn't perfect. You hit the ground hard. Roll. Stand. You're smiling before you even realize it. One more skill mastered. One more step closer. Chapter 12, Live Fire. Training changes. Everything becomes faster, louder, more dangerous. Today. Real ammunition. Every movement matters. Every decision matters. You learn to clear buildings. Move through narrow hallways. Communicate without speaking. Trust the people beside you. One mistake could put everyone at risk. Your instructor repeats the same sentence every day. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. At first, you don't understand. Then you do. Rushing creates mistakes. Confidence comes from preparation. Chapter 13, The Final Test. Weeks become months. Your uniform is faded. Your boots are worn. The mirror reflects someone you barely recognize. Then, the instructors announce one final exercise. A 48-hour mission. No sleep. Minimal food. Constant movement. Your team must locate a target, avoid detection, and safely return. Every lesson you've learned is about to be tested. The mission begins under the cover of darkness. You cross rivers, climb steep hills, hide from patrols, carry equipment that feels heavier with every passing hour. By the second night, your body wants to stop, but your team keeps moving. So do you. Just before sunrise, you reach the extraction point. The helicopter arrives. Dust fills the air. You climb aboard. Nobody speaks. Nobody celebrates. Everyone is simply relieved that it's over. Chapter 14, Operator. Back at base, the instructors gather the remaining candidates. The room is silent. One by one, names are called. When yours echoes through the hall, you step forward. An instructor places a small badge in your hand. You've earned it. Months of exhaustion, pain, failure, persistence, all leading to this single moment. You are no longer just a candidate. You are now a Special Forces operator. The lowest operational rank. But from this day forward, people will depend on your decisions, because the training is finished. The missions are about to begin. Chapter 15, Your First Real Mission. 3 weeks after earning your badge, the excitement has faded. Training is over. Now, every decision has real consequences. One evening, while cleaning your gear, the base alarm sounds. Your team gathers within minutes. A briefing officer enters the room. A humanitarian convoy has disappeared in hostile territory. Your mission is simple on paper. Locate them. Rescue any survivors. Return safely. Simple. Never means easy. The helicopter lifts off just after midnight. Below you, forests stretch for miles. No lights. No roads. Only darkness. As the aircraft slows, the crew chief slides open the side door. Cold air rushes inside. One by one, your team rappels into the darkness. For the first time. This isn't practice. Chapter 16, The Value of Teamwork. The forest is silent. Too silent. Every member of the team knows exactly where to move. Nobody wastes words. Simple hand signals replace conversation. Stop. Move. Cover. Advance. Training has become instinct. Hours later, fresh tire tracks appear in the mud. You're close. The convoy is hidden beneath camouflage nets. Several civilians are trapped nearby. Your team quickly secures the area. Within minutes, everyone is safely evacuated. The mission ends without firing a single shot. On the flight home, your team leader says something you'll never forget. The best mission is the one nobody knows happened. For the first time, you understand what Special Forces truly means. Chapter 17, Becoming a Better Operator. Months pass. Mission after mission. Each one teaches something new. Mountain operations. Desert patrols. Urban reconnaissance. Cold weather survival. You become faster. Calmer. More observant. You begin noticing details others miss. Fresh footprints. Broken branches. A recently opened gate. Small clues that tell bigger stories. Experience can't be taught. It has to be earned. Chapter 18, Night Operations. One rainy evening, your unit receives another assignment. Locate a missing scientist before hostile forces do. The mission begins after sunset. Night vision goggles turn the world green. Every shadow looks alive. The rain muffles every sound. Visibility drops to just a few meters. Halfway through the mission, your radio stops working. Communication is gone. Panic would only make things worse. Instead, your team switches to silent signals. Exactly as you practiced countless times. Hours later, the scientist is found hiding inside an abandoned farmhouse. Safe. Cold. Scared. But alive. On the journey home, you realize something important. Technology can fail. Training cannot. Chapter 19, Promoted to Senior Operator. Back at base, your commander calls you into his office. You've been recommended for promotion. You don't celebrate. You know promotions aren't rewards. They're responsibilities. As a senior operator, younger soldiers begin asking for your advice. They watch how you pack your gear. How you move. How you react under pressure. Without realizing it, you've become someone's example. The best leaders aren't the loudest. They're the ones others naturally follow. Chapter 20, Teaching the Next Generation. New candidates arrive at the base. You recognize the nervous expressions immediately, because you once wore the same look. Today, you're responsible for teaching land navigation. One recruit struggles with the map. Another can't maintain direction. Instead of shouting, you remember your own instructors. Firm. Patient. You explain again. Eventually, the recruit finds the checkpoint. The smile on his face reminds you of your first success months ago. Leadership isn't about proving you're better. It's about helping others become better. Chapter 21, The Hardest Decision. During a training exercise, disaster strikes. One teammate slips while crossing rocky terrain. His ankle is badly injured. The extraction helicopter is still hours away. Your team leader turns toward you. What do you think? For the first time, everyone is waiting for your answer. Continue the mission. Or evacuate immediately. You study the situation. The objective can wait. People cannot. You order the evacuation. Back at base, the commander reviews your decision. You sacrificed the mission. You nod. I did. He smiles. You made the correct choice. Objectives can be replaced. Lives cannot. Chapter 22, Becoming Team Leader. Years have passed since that first bus ride. Your hair is shorter. Your confidence quieter. The commander gathers your unit together. Today, you're receiving another promotion. Team Leader. Now, every mission begins with your plan. Every success belongs to the team. Every mistake belongs to you. Leadership feels heavier than any backpack you've ever carried. But you're ready. Not because you know everything. Because you've learned how to keep learning. Chapter 23, Preparing for the Biggest Mission. Your first assignment as team leader arrives unexpectedly. Satellite images reveal a remote compound deep within mountainous terrain. A group of aid workers has gone missing. Your team's objective. Locate them. Bring them home. The mission will require everything you've learned over the years. Navigation. Leadership. Patience. Trust. As your team boards the helicopter, they glance toward you. Waiting. Not for orders. For confidence. You take one deep breath. Then give the signal. Let's move. The helicopter disappears into the night. Ahead lies the most important mission of your career. Chapter 24, Into the Mountains. The helicopter flies low beneath the clouds. Rain pounds against the windows. Inside, no one speaks. Your team checks their equipment one final time. Weapons. Medical kits. Navigation tools. Everything has been inspected twice. As team leader, the final responsibility rests on your shoulders. The pilot points ahead. There. Hidden among the mountains is a narrow valley. Satellite images showed signs of recent activity. If the missing aid workers are alive, this is where they'll be. The helicopter touches down for only a few seconds. Just enough time for your team to jump. Then it's gone. The sound of the rotors fades into silence. You're completely alone. Chapter 25, The Search. The terrain is unforgiving. Steep cliffs surround every path. Loose rocks slide beneath your boots. Progress is slow. Every few hundred meters, your team pauses to observe. Patience is often more valuable than speed. Near sunset, one of your operators kneels beside the ground. Fresh footprints. Not old. Only a few hours. Your heartbeat quickens. You signal the team forward. Hidden behind thick trees. You finally see it. A small compound. Lights inside. Movement. The missing aid workers are there. Now comes the difficult part. Getting them out safely. Chapter 26, The Plan. Charging in would be reckless. Instead, you watch. 4 hours. Learning routines. Counting guards. Studying entrances. The longer you observe, the clearer the opportunity becomes. Just before dawn. The guards change shifts. For less than 60 seconds. One side of the compound is completely exposed. That's your window. You quietly explain the plan. Every team member repeats their role. Nobody has questions. Not because they're afraid to ask. Because they trust each other completely. Years of training have led to this moment. Chapter 27, The Rescue. The signal comes. Your team moves. Silent. Fast. Precise. Within seconds, the outer perimeter is secured. A locked door blocks your path. One operator carefully opens it. Inside, frightened aid workers look up in disbelief. One whispers. "I thought nobody was coming." You smile. "We're taking you home." The return journey is harder. The weather has worsened. Heavy fog blankets the valley. Visibility drops to only a few meters. Halfway to the extraction point. Your radio crackles. A landslide has blocked the original route. The helicopter can't reach you. You must find another way. Chapter 28, The Long Walk. The nearest extraction point is nearly 20 kilometers away. One rescued civilian can barely walk. Another has a shoulder injury. Your team takes turns carrying them. No one complains. Everyone understands. This mission is no longer about speed, it's about getting everyone home. Hour after hour. Your legs grow heavier. Your shoulders ache beneath the weight of your pack. Rain soaks every layer of clothing. Still, you keep moving. The younger operators glance toward you. They don't need speeches. They only need to see their leader taking the next step. So you do. Again, and again, until finally. The sound you've been waiting for echoes through the valley. Rotor blades. The helicopter. Everyone made it. Chapter 29, Recognition. Weeks later. Your commander calls the entire unit together. The rescued aid workers have returned safely to their families. The mission is considered a complete success. Your team receives recognition. But something surprises you. The commander doesn't talk about bravery. He doesn't mention courage. Instead, he says, "Success belongs to teams. Never individuals." You look around the room. Every person standing beside you made that mission possible. Without even one of them, it would have failed. Chapter 30, The Highest Responsibility. Years continue to pass. New recruits become experienced operators. Experienced operators become leaders. One afternoon, you're called into headquarters. A senior officer slides a folder across the table. Inside is your next promotion. You are now responsible for planning operations across multiple teams. You're no longer thinking about one mission. You're thinking about dozens. One decision could affect hundreds of lives. The responsibility feels enormous. But you remember something from your very first day. Special Forces never expected perfection. Only preparation. Chapter 31, Looking Back. One evening, you walk past the selection course where your journey began. The same obstacle walls. The same muddy trails. The same cold morning air. A new group of candidates struggles through the course. Some will quit. Some will succeed. One young recruit notices you. "Sir, were you ever scared?" You laugh softly. "Every single day." The recruit looks surprised. "But you still kept going." You nod. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's deciding that something else is more important. The recruit smiles. Then starts running again. Chapter 32, What It Really Means. People often believe Special Forces is about strength, or weapons, or dangerous missions. But after everything you've experienced, you know the truth. It's about discipline, trust, humility, preparation. And the willingness to put others before yourself. The uniform doesn't make someone extraordinary. The choices they make while wearing it do. Ending. Years ago. You stood outside your home carrying a heavy backpack. Unsure if you were good enough. Unsure if you belonged. You weren't the fastest. You weren't the strongest. You simply refused to stop moving forward. Step by step. Challenge by challenge. You transformed from a nervous civilian into a trusted leader. Not because the journey was easy. Because you chose not to quit when it became difficult. As the sun rises over the training grounds one final time, you watch another generation begin the same path. Some will fail. Some will succeed. And one day, one of them will stand exactly where you are now. Because every great leader was once the person taking their very first step.